Hey, thank you for joining Culture Estate. Now I'm going to teach you guys how to get your calendar to the point where you're the most productive agent possible. So there's a few activities that I'm going to show you today that you're going to have to put into your calendar. So as a new agent here, you're going to have a calendar with Gmail, which you're probably very familiar with. So what you're going to do is once you activate your new email, you're going to go to your calendar and you're going to start inputting these events. Now these events, you're going to have to go in and make sure that they repeat on a weekly basis. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in so I can teach you guys how to get your calendar ready so you could be a top producer. So first things first, on your calendar you're going to start with Mondays. Your calendar is automatically going to have mastermind meetings on Monday mornings at 9 o'clock already inputted, so you guys won't even have to worry about this. So every Monday morning we have our training. Hopefully you're here. If you're not here, you could always watch on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live, or you can watch on Instagram. So this is going to be good. And if you can't catch them live, you could always see the recordings later on our website. So jumping right in, Mastermind Mondays between 9 and 12, your time is already accounted for. After that, you're going to have an event that says Sphere of Influence calls. Now, if you open up Sphere of Influence calls, what this is you're going to be calling people that are in your phone book. Now, when I was an agent and I was low on business, I would pick up my phone and go through the Rolodex on my phone and go through A to Z, if anyone still calls it a Rolodex. But I would call every person, even if I didn't know who the person was. I would call them and just start a conversation with them and say, hey, I have your information in my phone. I just wanted to organize myself. Excuse me for calling you and asking you how we know each other, but it would mean a lot to me if you could just explain to me, why we know each other. That person might say, we met at, the party with John last year, or I was at the barbecue or the barbershop. So then you would say, oh, that's great. Well, listen, since we're acquaintances, I don't have your email in my phone book. Could I possibly bother you for that so I can send you my information as well? Sure. Once you get their information, then you can send them all your information. That way they can refer you to other people, and you can add them to also a drip campaign, which we'll get into later. Now, before you let them get off the phone, you also want to ask them, would you be willing to refer me any friends or family that you think might be interested in buying or selling? Or are you interested in buying or selling? So it's always an opportunity to get business from people you possibly know through your sphere, or people that you might know directly. Now, sometimes you're going to run into the occasional person that you do know well, and always keep in mind to keep those conversations short. Next, you want to call also clients that you're presently working with and have a conversation with them, because a lot of times when people have clients, they forget to call them just to check in from time to time. Now, when you're checking in with them, don't forget to ask for, number one, a review, because a lot of clients don't have the time to review you after you sell them a house. So when there's nothing going on during the transaction and they're very happy with your performance, ask them for that review. You can also ask them at this point for a referral, because they know other people who might be interested in buying or selling. So let them know, hey, listen, when this transaction is over, I'm going to be out of a job. So do you have anybody that you could refer to me? So sometimes they may refer you, and then you guys can go ahead and work on something together. Okay, next thing you need to do, call all your closed clients as well and ask them if they have any referrals for you. You may want to call them from time to time and just say to them, hey, how are things going? I was just wondering if everything's good with the house, and just wanted to check in and see if everything was good with you and your family. While you have them on the phone, don't forget to ask them, do you have any friends or family that are looking to buy or sell? Okay, so that's your Sphere of Influence calls, and that's done once a week, preferably on Mondays or maybe on Saturdays, but you only have to do them once a week. It doesn't have to be every single day. Okay, so we've got that done. Next event we have now is marketing. So with marketing, this is going to happen every day, and I'm going to show you how this is going to be done. So marketing is very important. You have some events here that you're going to see that are going to be very important for your success. So first of all, social media content. That's going to be one of the biggest things you're going to be able to do as a real estate agent. So don't be scared to put out YouTube videos, Facebook videos, Instagram videos, everything. So this is not meant for you to exactly have to do them at this moment in time, but as a constant reminder, you should be always putting out content. Anyone who's successful puts out at least 1 to 3 posts every day. And sometimes you can even share them from one platform to the other. So please get in the habit of doing that. Now, instead of just recycling other people's posts, get in front of a camera and get uncomfortable and start just recording stuff that you might find interesting. So if you read a great article, talk to the camera and say, hey, listen, this is what I found out today about the new tax legislation that's going on, or this is what's going on with new buyer programs. anything you find is interesting. Now, if you see a new house that's on the market and you go look at it, record it with your phone. That's also going to put out good content for people to one day want to tune into and just start following you. The key to this is having people associate you with real estate. At first, they're going to doubt you, but then after a while, they're going to accept the fact that you're a real estate agent. Now, your web presence. Now, your web presence is basically getting all your profiles complete, such as Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, LinkedIn, etc. There's a lot of places that you can get free profiles. And this is important because what this is going to do is going to build a lot of search engine optimization for you. So now when people Google you, they're not going to show up the stuff that you did a few years ago. It'll show up now as you being a real estate agent. So take advantage of these profiles. They're free and they're very, very good for search engine optimization, like I mentioned. Next thing you want to do is you want to start posting on Facebook, on Craigslist, on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, on LetGo. The reason why you want to do this is because these are free platforms in which you can post ads and you will definitely get your phone ringing. Now, this is not definitely a silver bullet that's going to do it all for you. You are going to get a lot of junk leads, but you'll also get some good leads from here. So if you do this consistently every day, I know realtors that make their living off of just posting to Craigslist. You could definitely do well with this as another method. Now, if you're a little bit more traditional and you want to start doing flyers to get business that way, you may want to pick a mail carrier route around the location where you want to work or around your home and just start sending flyers to that area. The reason why is because you want to send them consistently every month. So once a month, the flyers will go out, hit the same people month over month over month. And don't just send a flyer out with your picture on it. Send a flyer out that's going to have some important information for your clients, such as what are homes selling for, or some tips on something that's going on within the real estate community. Some way to maybe sell their house quicker, or interest rates climbing. Something that's going to catch their attention. Another thing you can do is work on sending email and text messaging blasts during this time. Now, this is good because if you start to compile a list of people that you want to work with, such as everyone in your phone book, you could download that to a spreadsheet. If we can do that, then we can send an email or text message blast to them. So this is something you may want to do during that time. For more information on that, please ask me at a later date. I'll get into that separately. You also want to take this time and ask for reviews. So by asking for reviews, what this is going to do is it's going to solidify you and legitimize you as a real estate agent when you go and you meet with sellers or buyers for the first time. You can show them what people have been saying about you, and the easiest way to get these leads is by getting people to jump on your Facebook and give you leads there, on Google, on Yelp. There's a couple of different places. Now, Zillow is the gold standard in reviews, but you can only get reviews from actual clients. You can't get them from your family, anyone sharing your IP, or from other real estate agents. So that's why it's such a good thing to get reviews from Zillow, because they are held in high esteem. Now, next thing you can do is you're going to learn how to build squeeze pages and landing pages through Conversion. Conversion is our CRM that's going to help you manage all your clients. Now, by building these pages, you'll be able to put these out on Facebook and also on Google, and you're going to be able to get a lot of hits that way. People are going to start to find you throughout these landing pages and squeeze pages. Now, the way they work is obviously for a later date for us to get into a discussion, but they do work. So please take the time to learn how they operate on Conversion. Now, another way you can get business is by simply just giving away 5 business cards every day. Now, 5 business cards is not a lot. If you make it a rule to put 5 business cards in your pocket every single day, and you give them out, that's 150 business cards you're giving out a month. And now that's a tremendous amount of business cards you give out every year. Sooner or later, those people that you're handing out your business cards to will call you. So get in the habit of doing that as well. And then number 9, work on your conversion drip campaigns. Drip campaigns are the best way to follow up with your clients, other than making the phone call yourself. There's nothing that's going to compare to that. But if you don't have infinite amount of time or infinite amount of help to make all these personalized follow-up calls, you may want to start working on drip campaigns. Now, drip campaigns are the program that you're going to work on in your Conversion that's going to automate all the text messages and emails that people are going to start receiving from you automatically. Now, once people start getting these things, they are going to start replying to you, and you're going to start automatically working with these people because they think you're communicating with them one-on-one when it's actually the system doing it. So this is really important to do. Now, once we're done with our marketing, then we also want to work on prospecting. As you can see, on Monday, I have prospecting at 6, but every other day during the week, I have prospecting at 9 a.m. Reason is because the 2 best times to call for prospecting are in the mornings and after 5 p.m. So since Mondays we have mastermind, so I want you guys to do your prospecting later on that afternoon. So Monday afternoons you're going to prospect at 6 p.m. Now, what does prospecting actually mean, or what is it? Well, the best way and the most efficient way to do prospecting, in my opinion, and what we've come to find, is that telephone prospecting is the best bang for your buck. But sometimes there may be an opportunity for you to go door knocking around an area that you really want to work in. So that's also considered prospecting as well. Whenever you're meeting new clients, you definitely want to maximize your time well spent. Whenever you're prospecting, you're going to want to get in front of as many people as possible at once. So if we're doing telephone prospecting, we're going to use our Mojo system. That way we can call a ton of people at once. Now the Mojo system allows you to call 3 people at one time, so you can make up to 100 phone calls an hour. Who the people we're going to be targeting it's up to you. We're going to be calling expireds. We're going to call for sale by owners. We can call distressed sellers if you're into getting investment properties. You can prospect your farm, and you can tell them about your just solds in the area. You can tell them about your just listeds. Or like I mentioned earlier, you can go door knocking. So that's one way you can do it. Okay, next important task that you need to work on your calendar is your follow-ups. Now, you can't have prospecting without follow-ups. Now, what are follow-ups? Follow-ups are probably more important than actually making the phone calls initially yourself. Follow-ups are done in a manner where you're going to target people who you already called, and they seem interested but they're just not ready. So what you do is you would take that person's information and write it down and put it in your calendar, so at a later date you can follow up with them and see if they're ready and willing at that time. So this is important to do, because in the beginning you're not going to have that many follow-ups, but in the future, a few weeks down the line and a few months down the line, most of your listings are going to come from people you followed up with. So always make sure to follow up with people, and the more you call them, the more of a relationship you're going to start with them, and the more they're going to trust you. So make sure you also do your follow-ups. This is really important. So the other thing that I have down now for the rest of the week is role play. Now, role playing is equivalent to someone that's an athlete and wants to practice before they go out to the big game. So the same thing with you. You don't want to just practice when you're on the phone with a potential client, because you may lose that client for a lack of knowledge and not knowing what to say. So what's important to do is spend at least 30 minutes a day, 4 days a week. Even once you've already felt comfortable on the phone, you keep doing it, because the other person is going to keep you sharp, and the other person may give you circumstances that you haven't encountered yet. So number one, what you want to do is practice listing appointments, because when you're going on a listing appointment, it's nerve-wracking, especially for the first time. Practice that as much as possible with a partner. You also want to practice cold call prospecting, talking to for sale by owners, talking to pre-foreclosure people, talking to expireds. These are things that you need to practice with someone else in the mirror, or just record yourself and listen to yourself and watch yourself and make improvements from there. The other thing you could practice is also buyer scenarios. There's a lot of instances where you're going to work with buyers who are not ready to buy, or maybe they are ready to buy, but they keep making excuses. It's your job to work with these people and have dialogues with them. And sometimes maybe the person is not ready to buy, so you don't work with them, but you need to learn how to ask the proper questions to identify that. So definitely work buyer scenarios as well. Okay? That's why role play is so important. Now, once you've role played, then you can jump right into your prospecting, then your follow-ups, and then your marketing. And then another thing that's very important for you to do as a new agent, and if you want to build up your business both for buyers and sellers, is do open houses. Now, open houses should be done on Sundays. Those are the best days traditionally for open houses. So definitely make sure that you're doing at least 2 open houses a month. So in this calendar here, we've made it repetitive, so it repeats every 2 weeks on Sundays. So what you do is, even if you have no inventory whatsoever, just ask somebody in the office or ask the front desk administrator, hey, is there anyone that has a property that would like an open house done? I know countless agents who do open houses, and they get great buyer leads. They get people from the neighborhood who are interested in selling. But there is a science to doing an open house. Before you do an open house, you want to prospect the neighborhood by phone call, by calling all of them by phone, or by just taking the time and spend maybe an hour or two just walking the neighborhood and door knocking everyone and leaving flyers on their door. Now, one of my agents just got a listing recently because she did that. She left the flyers on the door, and the people are ready to sell, so they're going to go with her. So this is a really encouraging thing for most of you guys who think that open houses may be a waste of your time. If you prepare for it, you definitely won't be a waste of time. We even have a checklist for it, so look in your real estate forms and you'll find that as well. Okay, so that's pretty much it for your calendar. Now, there's really nothing else that you necessarily need to do. aside from meeting with clients, going to networking events, but you could do that as it appears. So I'm not going to go ahead for sake of this video and put them in the calendar, but always make sure that once you've done these things between 9 to 12 p.m., you've done more than 99% of the real estate agents out there. So what that means is your afternoons are free for you, which means you can go ahead and do anything that you think is going to bring business to you. Leave the office, go for a walk in the park, meet people. Just go talk to your accountant, go talk to your attorney, see how you can start networking with different people. You can even have lunch with different loan officers, title agents, other agents from other companies, and start brainstorming, and just be maybe more of a part of your community, so that way you can get business from there. So this is why I really like you setting up your business plan in your calendar, because it makes you do everything you're supposed to do in the mornings, and then the rest of the day you can have an actual life and you don't have to be stuck behind a computer. Now there are going to be days where you're going to have to do paperwork. Now paperwork should never take the place of these activities, because these are your money making activities, and you should never put paperwork or emails before this. So don't even think about checking your email until after these things are done. Don't start any paperwork until after these things are done. Don't confuse busy work for productive work. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and please go ahead and take the time and make these events part of your calendar as well. Thank you. Stay tuned for more videos.